Well, my first race was in 2010, and going way back as a teenager, I saw a telecast of Kona. Never did anything about it. And then in the late 2008, 2009, my sister actually did Ironman in Penticton. And she was kind of teasing me and said, maybe you should get off your keister and get going. And so I've done 39 races total. So including 5 Ironmans here in half Ironmans here in Calgary, and did Victoria last year and San Diego this year. So it's been good. Enjoy it. Well, I've kept track of every result of every race I've had, and it's pretty rewarding to look back on your result from this year versus the previous years, and to see if you've gotten better or gotten worse. And it's nice when, for example, when the first time I did Ironman 70.3 here in Calgary, and I came in at 5:45, and then this past year I came in at 20 minutes faster, even though I'm 5 or 6 years older. So it's nice to see that constant improvement, and the work and sweat that you put into it is paying off. And yeah, it's neat to see these pros come in at sub 4 hours, and you think they're just not human. And I mean, they're inspiring, but it's also inspiring to see the people that are coming in at 7 hours and they're putting everything into it, and they're working just as hard as you are. I've done 7 years of races, so I'm going into my 8th year. And obviously what I know now is a lot more than that first year or so. I still enjoy the process, getting out there, especially in the summer, getting out on the bike, doing a ride from anywhere from an hour and a half to the long rides are 5 hours. And it's nice to be outside to do that. And getting out and doing the runs, and there's a lot of dedication when you're doing something like this for 6 days a week, but it's fun, and the stress from work is gone. You're maintaining your health, and good way to do it. I've read a lot of articles focusing on athletes and like the age groupers like myself that had a background of running or swimming or biking through their younger years and stuff, and they were national ranked or whatever, and now they're coming out and doing triathlons, and they're placing first, second, or third, or what have you. I never really had any of that background. I rode my bike a little bit and stuff, but I figured, well, I know how to swim. I'm not very fast. I can ride a bike. I'm a terrible runner, and but you can still do it. And as my sister calls me, I'm a everyday triathlete. And if you enjoy it, you put the time in, you put the work in, and you're dedicated, then, you may not get first, second, or third, but it doesn't matter. I think everyone that gets out there, they're doing it for themselves, and not to sound cliche or anything, but they're still winning. So I guess one message I have is, even if you don't really have any kind of a background to doing that, you can still go do it. So if you have fun, go do it. My coworkers say I'm a hard worker there, and you know, you fix the problems, you help the people there, and I guess you can kind of bring that out on the race course. You fix the problems, you get through the tough times, and you just keep going and just trust your training. And when you train, it's hard and you push yourself there, and when you're out on the race course, everyone's gonna have their challenges. So you just keep going through the process and getting your nutrition in, and you got to take a bit of a break and do that, but you just keep going, 1 kilometer at a time on the bike, 1 step at a time on the run, and you get to the finish line. Well, I've got a bit of a unique work schedule. I work typically Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday, Friday, so I'm off Wednesdays and Saturdays. So Wednesday and Saturday are kind of a bigger training day, since I don't have to worry about dealing with work those days. But the other days I'll be working and then doing something afterwards, for whether it's a run or a combination, bike and run, or a swim. And during the winter, the schedule's a little bit different than the summer, whereas obviously in the winter, living in Calgary, got to do some of it inside and such, but when weather and conditions allow, I'll try to get outside for a run. Yeah, some days are a little bit long between doing an 8-hour shift at the store and then going straight to the gym and doing that. So it could be 12 hours from the time I first leave the house until I get back. Well, the days that I'm working, it won't be as long or as intense. Generally, the days that I'm off, that I can do a longer session. So Wednesdays is a longer running day, and so that'll be anywhere from 1.5 hours to 2 hours. And then at least I've got the rest of the day to do as little as I want. If there's errands and such that I have to run, I can still do that. There's still the rest of the day to do that. Saturdays, especially in the summer, is my longer bike ride day. That depending on the time of year, it could be up towards 150K on the bike, which typically is 4.5, 5 hours on the bike. And pretty much when I'm done that, I'm done for the day. There's not a whole lot else that's gonna get done. On the bike, you gotta be concentrating on where you're going, because there's always things on the road that you gotta be watching out for. You don't wanna be hitting any debris or anything like that on the road. And at times you're up towards 40, 50K an hour, especially if you're on a descent. So you're paying attention to what you're doing. I just listen to my breathing and my heart rate, and if I can go harder, I will. If I have to dial it back, then I will. As far as running, you're just worrying about watching your breathing, watching your technique. There's a lot of days where you're walking out of the store and you're so busy getting pulled in so many different directions that it almost has the feeling of being in a street fight. And to be able to jump on the bike, go in the pool or go for a run, and to be able to not have people asking you questions, the phone isn't ringing, running into various issues with what have you, and to be able to strictly focus on being on the bike and not have anything else be pulling at you. It's nice to get away, bleed the stress off from the work, and when you're off the bike or you're done the run and you're hot and sweaty and out of breath, but you're sure feeling a whole lot better. Depending on how I'm feeling any particular day, some days are going to be a little bit better than others, and if you're on the bike, you may have weather conditions that you're dealing with that might be tougher than others, but you still have to keep in mind that, well, you may be doing a race and the weather conditions aren't going to be very favorable. But when you finish a training session, if it was a tough day at work, to get a good ride or a swim in and then come home, just stress is gone, feeling better, it's all good. Well, I've always thought of myself as being pretty organized, whether it was going through school or university, especially with the type of job I have of being a community pharmacist. You have to be organized, and I think that translates well in doing the daily things of training and such, and making sure that you have all your equipment if you're going out for a ride or run after work. As far as the nutrition aspect, I've gotten myself into a bit of a routine on leading up to a race on what I'll be eating and what to avoid. And so far it seems to have worked, but you know what? Sometimes there's uncontrollable factors that may occur, and just kind of have to deal with them as they come up. So that's part of the challenge. I'm just hoping that things go well, and just know that if there is an issue, chances are you've had to deal with it during a training session before. Just go back to your experience on that and look after it and keep going. To be able to do something like a long distance triathlon, whether it's a half or a full, you have to rely on your preparation to make sure that you've done what needs to be done. And as far as that translating into working as a community pharmacist, we have to be prepared to handle whatever the day presents to us in the pharmacy. Well, I'm a community pharmacist. I've been doing this for far too long. So a lot of it involves dealing with, obviously, the public, a lot of different other healthcare professionals, such as, obviously, physicians. We've got a pretty big clinic next to us, and we have a really good relationship working with them. So we will be filling and assessing prescriptions. I also have certified to do injections And at this time of year, we have a lot of people coming in getting their flu shots. People will be asking questions regarding all aspects of medications and health concerns. So I guess how that relates to being involved in triathlon is, it'd be pretty hypocritical for me to be preaching live a healthier lifestyle if I wasn't doing that myself. I mean, for me to work 5 days a week here and to try to provide some insight and assistance for people to live a healthier lifestyle and achieve their goal, whether it's quitting smoking or any other number of examples, and to relate that to living a healthy lifestyle outside of here and training 5-6 days a week. That provides me, one, a healthier life for me, and I can at times relate that to my patients and say, that's why I still have some Ironman bands on here, because every once in a while they'll ask, what's that for? Well, I did a half Ironman down in San Diego back in September. Talk about that, and, the running and the rest of the training and such there. So, yeah, they go hand in hand. The fact that for the last 7-8 years I have lived a healthier lifestyle. I would say I had an unhealthy lifestyle previous to that, but this is taking it up to another level, as it were. At the end of the day, sometimes the last thing I feel like is going and getting a workout. But with my schedule, I've over time developed a time on, okay, so this day I'm going to be doing just a short run, half hour, 45 minutes or whatever. And on this day I've got a little bit more time, so I can do it that way. My days off are broken up through the week, so I do my longer workouts on those days. And it's just a matter of finding out what your schedule is. And sure, in some situations it's going to be tougher for some people than it is to others. And some people can do 15, 20 hours a week of training. For me, it's probably maybe only 10 or 12. I do find this work very gratifying, because even making a small change with someone's medication or adjusting something with their lifestyle sometimes has a big impact. And what we as pharmacists may find something very small and insignificant can in turn result in a very, very large improvement in the patient's health. And we just have to keep in mind that keep the simple things lined up and organized, and sometimes that's really all that patients need. Well, to compare how things went with my first race to how things have gone this year, to be able to learn the process, to continue to improve, and by keeping all my results and seeing how they compared to previous years, and for the most part seeing it's small, but it's still a continual improvement. It's pretty nice to look back and go, wow, I actually did that. Long-term goals, just to keep doing it as long as I'm physically able, and I'll never compare myself to the young guys in their 20s and 30s and what have you, but to be able to keep doing it, to be able to be healthy and get out there and do something every day. I'd like to do that. As far as changing course a little bit to do short-term goals, I just found out I'm going to be a member of Team Canada at the ITU Long Distance World Championships out in Penticton next summer. It was pretty thrilling to find out that I'm going to be part of that event next summer. So looking forward to that, and got to continue with the training for that event.